Good morning, this is Trevor, and today we're doing another XSS lab in Portswigger's Web Security Academy. This is a DOM XSS in AngularJS expression with angle brackets and double quotes, HTML encoded. So it's in the AngularJS expression in the search functionality. Yeah. You can execute JavaScript expressions within double curly braces. And we need to solve it by calling the alert function. All right, well, it kind of just, tells you how to solve the lab there. That's fine. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing. And let's get to solving this one. All right, it said it was in the search function, and it said curly braces. So with AngularJS and these types of XSS vulnerabilities, I find that they're very similar to like a server-side template injection. And so this is a payload I would use to test for that. If I search for it, we can see that that payload, was executed, treated as code, and the addition worked. All right. So let's talk about, despite that, I won't be able to do like alert one. And the reason why is because this NG app has its own scope, and alert, that function, is not defined in the scope. So I need to be able to move into the parent scope, define a function before I can start executing stuff like that. To do so, let's practice a little bit here. So if you think about SSTI, and let's say we have our injection point is a string. What we could do is get the parent of that string, and you can see it's string, right? That doesn't help that much, but what if we did it again? This time we get a function, and that is exactly what we want. If we go like this and then quote it and do like, console.log, and then we'll put double quotes, blah. That defines a function. All we need to do is run it right here, immediately executed, immediately invoked function expression, iffy. Anyway, so if I hit that, you can see blah is now written. To transfer that into this here, I would just do the same thing as just constructor dot constructor, and let's do one thing, and I don't know what this will print. Let's check it out. See, here's the scope that I was talking about. So if I put alert, it's going to end up being $scope alert, which isn't going to work. So if I do constructor, we can see we get the scope object. If I do constructor.constructor, here we go. This is our function. This is what we wanted. So that's it. I'm just going to do like constructor.constructor, and then console.log. I'll do the same thing I did in the screen there. In that single quote, close the parentheses, and then I need to make it so it invokes immediately, and then close off the curly braces. And we should see, there we go. We got blah written down here. So that's how we're going to solve it. We could do stuff more fancy, like their dot constructor. We could do like, we can't run, let's see, we could do something like document.write, right? And then do inside that img x source img source on error equals console.log1. Let's write text. So it worked. So notice how I'm having to escape those single quotes. So I chose text just because it was a little bit harder to kind of illustrate what we're doing here. Document.write, it worked. I need to close off the image tag and the document.write, which this parenthesis should be outside, and the single quote for that and the double quote for that, and then execute that with the two parentheses and then end the curly braces, and that should work. We should see it worked down here if I got all the syntax correct. Looks like I did not. Where did I mess up? So document write, image on error, console. This is on error equals console log 2f. Oh, let's take this out just for safety's sake. Oh, and we need a parenthesis here. Because this is where now we can do that. And then we've got the double quote, the end parentheses, the single quote, end parentheses, and then that one looks good. Nope. Syntax contained an unescaped line break. Let's remove this. Dang it. This was supposed to be a simple... This was supposed to just be me playing around being fancy. And now I've got stuff that doesn't work. Console.log here. Why do we have this? Oh, because it's inside the document, right? On error. I'm going to do equals. And instead of pluses, so instead of URL encoding it, I'll just write it out. It worked. That ends that one. That ends that one. This executes it. Hey, I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's the URL encoding that I don't have correct. Oh, it's got to be a space in here. Because notice how it worked when I didn't have the space, but it does not work when I change that to a space. Why would that be? Maybe it's my quotes. Document. So we had double quotes or the single quotes. Just you know, because I'm curious, what if I triple quoted this? Does triple quoting work in or backticks? Dang it. Literal not terminated before end of script. So it's definitely the space that is causing me issues here. What if I do and NBSP semicolon? Well, I don't know if that's that definitely would do it. Let's try it in the URL. Okay, and that was just HTML encoding a space, so a non-breaking space. And that's how you HTML encode it. So let me throw that here and send it and see. We do not get our lame. All right, well, while I want to figure this out, I don't want to make the image or the video so long only for me to, you know, only because of this. Because we've already figured out how we want to solve it. Oh, this is very frustrating for me. Document dot write. What if I... No, I can't. I have to have those. What if I take out and just do worked? Hey, so that obviously worked. Sweet. So this is a fancier way. Of course, we're going to change console.log to alert to solve it. But I wanted to show more than one option using some JavaScript, because we are inside JavaScript in this constructor. So I just did the document.write. Anyway, and we need to do it in the search. So let's get to solving this. I'm going to create our script, and our script is going to be called what? AngularJS expression, DOM AngularJS expression. So Vim DOM AngularJS expression .py. I'm going to grab our template as always. And then what do we have for search in the shop? Is it shop? No, it's a blog. In the blog. We do have search. We just need to give it a search term. Let's make sure that is a good idea. Let me close these other ones and go back here. I'm going to go forward, I thought. Dang it. I don't have my my exploit, which that's okay. It was this constructor, and then we need to, this is the function. Yep. Constructor, single quote, what we're gonna write to the JavaScript we want here, log, and then blah, blah. I want to do spaces here just to test it out. And then we end the single quote and the parentheses, make sure it's immediately invoked, and then close the brackets, curly brackets. And that did not work. What did I do wrong? Constructor. Let's look at our, because I got so fancy I confused myself. So this was the one we just sent that did not work. Oh, and this has got to be because of that space. %22. You know what? That's not right. %22. It should be %20. What if I send to repeater? All right, so sorry. This one's going to take us just a minute more. So I'm going to highlight all of this to here and Control-Shift-U. And I'm going to do, yeah, I want a space there. And then I'm going to highlight this and do Control-U. That puts the plus there, which when I send it, so I have to, because it's DOM, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and then I want to show response in browser. So I'm going to just copy this, go to the browser, open up a tab and open it. That did not work. Inspect. Let's check the console. We have no error for this. Constructor, console log, blah. And just to make sure that we have everything else correct, let me remove those spaces. Those spaces are going to cause this issue. We don't need them for to solve the lab, obviously, but what am I doing wrong? I had this working. Proxy. It's probably something dumb. Let's go back. So this was when we were testing it out. It's DOM based, so let's, all right. I can't believe I messed up the whole thing so bad. All right, I'm gonna do curly bracket constructor dot constructor. I'm gonna do console dot log. I'm gonna put this in single quotes and escape them, blah blah, and do that, and do that, and that, and then immediately invoke it, and then close the curly braces. Hey, finally. All right, sorry about the sidetrack. I did want to get the spaces working, and so it looks like double quote was my downfall there. I needed to just use single quotes, and that works. I don't want to go back to the document.write one, but that is definitely a possibility. And you would need to use double quotes, and that's because there's 3 levels of quotes. Anyway, this is going to be our payload. And all we have to do is search for it. So let's take this and copy it and blog.search. I think this is all we need to do. Of course, we need to change it. Yeah, because we just need the search term, and it's going to return the response. We don't need the response. We just need to check blog.is solved. All right, let's write this. Let's send it. Make sure we get no errors. Python, DOM, Angular, and the URL. We can check the what we can do is go here and do that same thing, show response browser, copy one, paste that here, blah, blah. Perfect. Yeah, so this is a good example of how you can turn a 3-minute video into however long this one is. Funny, right? Okay, let's solve it. Let's just change this from console.log to alert. Let's keep alerting blah blah because, you know, why not? And run it. Uh-oh. It did not. Oh, you know what? It's because of this. My bet is that plus was getting URL encoded. What the heck? Show response in browser. All right. Did this? It should have escaped. I should have had back. Why is it removing those? That's why. I need to double in Python. Finally. Woo, we got it solved. And we did it a little bit tougher than it required because we did add that space. A 3-line script. I don't know what to say about this one. This is a cool problem. I like that we had to do this syntax, which again, I liken to server-side template injection. This is really client-side though. So I guess you could call it client-side template injection because it is client-side. It's JavaScript, which is there for cross-site scripting. And we talked about how it has a scope. And we saw that when we did this. We saw the scope for that, and that's why we weren't able to just put in alert. But we went from the scope to, I wonder if we can do scope not defined. This, that's the window. We can do this and then dot constructor dot constructor. There we go. So this is what we, did. If we replace, we didn't add this because we don't need it. But this is what we did to get a function. And then once we got the function, we just told the function what we wanted, which was, console.log. And then we solved it. And then we want single there. We want to immediately invoke it. So I'm putting the parentheses right after and then ending curly braces. And that's how we solved it. The only issue I ran into was in Python. I did need to put the double backslash, and that's because Python was interpreting the single backslash as escaping the next character. The next character doesn't, or isn't a special character like /n, which is the line feed or carriage return, or I don't know. Same with /r. And so by putting double, it prevented that escape and allowed us to pass on a single backslash and the single quote to JavaScript. That's it. Well, this is how you turn a molehill into a mountain while doing a 3-line script. Hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Goodbye.